Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our services here this morning, we would kindly ask if everyone would please turn off or silence all electronic devices. Thank you.
Shalom, everyone. As I said to Marge only a few moments ago, I'm sad but honored to be with you here today. We've celebrated simchas, joyful moments over the years with Lou and you, his extended family and friends, of bar and bat mitzvahs, happiness, holiday celebrations, and the sense that there is a continuity and celebration of life. I've known Lou a long time. Even before he first started getting ill in 1983, I was friends with Lou. He also secured my disability insurance for the congregation. Such a long time ago that I've aged out of that policy. But he was there for me and helped me and secured that. And then way back, as I mentioned, in 1983, when he started getting ill, I had a regular routine. I'd visit him on a Friday morning, usually in the same bed, the same location. He outlived that hospital that changed its name several times. It started out as the Garden State Hospital, and then he was there when it was West Jersey, and then even when it turned into Virtua. Lou was tough. He was stubborn. And he gave him that will to live. Frankly, when we add up all of his days in that hospital and ill at home and being taken care of, one has to admit that's a wonder that he survived as long as he did. Kinahara, 40 years with Tsuris. Only a fighter can survive that and put up with that and find meaning in that. But he found that sense of purpose through you, through his friends, his family. And those who were just in our little circle moments ago when I tore the memorial ribbons. Marge, you were with him 50 plus years. And many of these years now, you were his caretaker, not just an ordinary spouse. You gave quality to his life and quantity thanks to your good efforts. It was hard. I admire you for all those conversations that we've had through the years where you spoke about your honest feelings and your wishes and hopes for Lou's recovery, or at least status quo, where he wouldn't get worse. And we acknowledge his children, Lisa with Howard, Brian with Andrea. They too have been there and supported him and saw not the healthier, younger Lou that many of us might have known, but the Lou who struggled, but made it because of your support too. And we look at the next generations, the two sets of twins, of Justin and Morgan, and Emily and Ashley. You were the light of his eyes. He would speak about you when I spoke to him about how he was doing, and he would sort of defer the question and say, no, let me tell my grandchildren, right? The 3 girls and 1 boy. Proud of their accomplishments and their lives and all that you meant to him. Of course, his brother Jeffrey with Vi. Same face. You can tell that he is a man. just as you walk into the room, and they have the memories of their childhood, of their youth, of vibrancy and vitality, and also maturing. So these were the people who were included in our communal bubble, our sanctified place and moment, where we committed to the separation ceremony as it's begun with the loss of Lou. I don't know how many of us, not me, could have fought for as long and as well and as hard as he did, even when they took a part of him away. He still was there. The Lou that we knew was still present. That was the Lou who ultimately was fitted with a prosthetic leg, and he was determined to set things right for his family. Just a couple days ago, he came to Lisa's house for Thanksgiving. It couldn't have been easy physically, but emotionally uplifting, a sense of empowerment that he could still do all that he wanted, or some at least, including a family celebration. Speaking of which, I was told that he also, at Passover, had the best places to hide the afikomen, and that he was known for that. Perhaps you'll hear again from some of the speakers in a few moments that he also loved preparing Chex Mix, which I know you guys like to do also. And that's a way to memorialize Lou and things that he enjoyed doing. I offer on Lou's behalf Psalm 23, a traditional psalm of praise of God, even at these sadder moments. Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai ro'i lo echsar, b'nodeshe yarbitzeni, al mei menuchot yanachaleni. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. God has me lie down in green pastures, and leads me beside the still waters. He guides me on paths of righteousness, and revives my soul for the sake of his glory. Though I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your staff and your rod do comfort me. You set the table in sight of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall abide in the house of the Lord forever. Those of us from within Congregation of Beth Tikva extended family know that at many of these funerals I choose to offer a particular reading that I find personally meaningful and poignant through having shared it for my own parents from this very pulpit. From a rabbi and scholar named Ben Sirach who lived a couple thousand years ago. But his words echo through the eons as I translate them now for you into English. And he wrote, "We are all destined to die. We share it with all who ever lived, with all who ever will be. Cry for the dead. Hide not your grief. Do not restrain your mourning. But remember that continuing sorrow is worse than death. When the dead are at rest, let their memory be a source of peace, and be consoled when the soul departs. Death is better than a life of pain, and eternal rest is better than lingering illness. As a drop of water in the sea, as a grain of sand on the shore, are our few days in eternity. The good things in life last for a short time, but a good reputation, a good name endures forever." As you were entering the room, there was some sadness. joy at reconnecting and reacquainting with each other, various ranges and expectations of what life entails. And that's expressed from me, and now I hope for you, in the book of Ecclesiastes, that explains the full spectrum of emotion. For everything there is a season, a time for every experience under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot what is planted, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance, a time to throw stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to discard, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. And it is indeed a time to share personal feelings, and I'm honored to call first on Lou's brother, Jeffrey.
Morning. I am Lou's brother, Jeffrey. I'm sure all of you know when you lose a loved one, your thoughts and memories flood your mind. Many, as you can guess, knowing my brother, I'm a little bit reluctant to talk about, but Louis and I grew up in Baltimore. We were about 4 years apart in age. He was an older brother, a mentor, both as we grew up in sports and then as we've raised our families in business as we both began our careers. Our parents were very hardworking. Unfortunately, our dad passed away at 62 years old back in 1982. They were caring and taught us the value of family and sharing with others. Louis, despite many health issues, was generous to everyone with his time, guidance, donations to organizations he believed in, including the Rotary. I don't know if some of you know he donated to Gettysburg, and of course to the synagogue. Louis, as the older son in a German house, was always blamed for everything I did. It was perfect. It was a perfect cure. Couple of stories. We lived in Baltimore City and very close to a golf course. So one day I found a whole bunch of golf balls on the golf course, and one of our neighbors happened to have an umbrella stand right built into the patio. So I decided to drop the golf balls down the pole hole. 18 balls fit perfect. He got blamed, worked out great for me, but we were told to figure out how to get the balls out of the hole. After a little while, we figured it out that we could float them out, and we actually floated out 18 golf balls out of this hole. But it was interesting. It's the same golf course we always played in the snow in as kids. We'd paint the golf balls with shoe polish and go out there and hit the balls and go chase them and find them because of the shoe polish. But we also did battle. Our parents both worked, which was an oddity back in the 50s, but we fought over who would cook, who would reheat the dinner. It was always me, and for the grandkids and cousins, his favorite dish was spaghetti and peanut butter. That's why I did the cooking. We had a lot of memories, obviously, but as a family, we vacationed together up in the Poconos for quite a few years, and there was a lot that went on there, including softball games he would put together. But one of the fondest memories was him coming out of the shower one day, and he had half the ceiling on him. It fell right out in the shower, right on his head. He tried his hand at golf. We tried at the Poconos one time. We played a golf course and went up and down the mountains, and didn't last long, and he just became my chauffeur. The best of all, for those in the family that are here, there was this, since it's Thanksgiving, there was this one Thanksgiving. where Lewis dared one of our aunts to throw a pumpkin pie at him. The pumpkin pie flew across the room, and fortunately or unfortunately, it missed, but the wall never looked better than orange. In all, Lewis was my older brother, a friend who I could rely on for guidance and encouragement. As we grew older, through illness and other celebrations, we were there for each other through the good times and the bad, cheering and lifting each other up and inspiring each other to have a successful and fulfilling life. His legacy will live on forever. May he rest in peace. Thank you. Okay.
Jeffrey reminded us that Lou was a great Rotarian. And I come from a family of Lions Club members, a couple generations. And he's always trying to get me from the dark side to come to a Rotary meeting at least. But I withstood his pressures. One more story that's being triggered about Lou is that despite his back, he was always the guy in charge of giving out and collecting the Machzorim at the holidays. And always was there at the very back of the rented sanctuary, lifting up his book high in the air. I can only imagine how it felt. To remind me to announce, and please take your books back to the table so that Lou can coordinate them. Because otherwise, I didn't say, he was going to have to bend over and pick up each one at the seat. But we had this thing going for a long time. Now I call on Brian.
So, Uncle Jeff here stole some of the thunder out of this with some of the same stories, but we'll give it a shot anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, family, friends, we gather here to celebrate the life of Lewis Mann, a loving husband, father, grandfather, and friend. We say goodbye to a soul who faced adversity with unparalleled courage, who fought against sickness with unwavering strength, and who left a mark on the lives of those who were fortunate enough to know him. Today, we remember and honor the life of our father. In the face of tremendous challenges, our father demonstrated a resilience that can only be described as extraordinary. His spirit, his tenacity, and his determination were truly admirable. He faced his battles head-on, teaching us the profound lesson that strength is not just a physical attribute, but a quality that resides deep within the soul. Our father's love for his family was boundless. While he did not always express his feelings, there was no doubt how much he loved my mother and how appreciative he was for always being there to take care of him. He was not just a parent, but a guiding force in showing us right from wrong and providing us support to ensure both Lisa and I would be able to make it on our own. While he may have been tough on us at times, he had a special way with the children, a magical touch that turned ordinary moments into cherished ones. Whether it was a simple game of chasing the kids around the house, 52-card pickup, or saying something silly just to make them laugh, they all had a great time with Gramps. One of the things that made our father truly unique was his passion for history. He had a wealth of knowledge that he generously shared with anyone willing to listen or sometimes forced to listen. His long history lessons were more than just narratives, though. They were journeys into the past. His eyes would light up with enthusiasm as he recounted tales of bygone eras. But our father was not only a man of words, he was a man of action. His culinary skills were unparalleled, as Uncle Jeff mentioned, surprising us all with dishes that could rival those of the finest chefs. His ability to turn simple ingredients like peanut butter and spaghetti or tuna fish with chocolate sauce into culinary masterpieces was a testament to his creativity and love of torturing the kids. But his true talent lied with that of making large quantities of Chex Mix for all. Beyond his interest, our father was deeply committed to making a positive impact on the world. His involvement in coaching baseball, charitable work through organizations like Rotary International or the Synagogue reflected his dedication to giving back. He believed in the power of action to make a difference, and he demonstrated this belief through his tireless efforts to continue to causes that touched the lives of those in need. It was a reflection of his belief in the importance of community and the positive influence that one person can have on the lives of others. As we bid farewell to our father, let us carry forward the lessons he taught us: the importance of resilience in the face of adversity, the power of love and family, the joy of sharing simple pleasures, and the impact that one person's passion and dedication can have on the world. Though our hearts are heavy with grief, let us celebrate the incredible life that our father lived. His legacy lives on in the memories we shared, the lessons he imparted, and the love he so generously gave. As we remember him and honor him today, let us find solace in the knowledge that his spirit will live on forever in the hearts of those he touched. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey and Brian, for so effectively reminding us so many aspects of Lou's life. One more part of his life was his Hebrew name, his very sense of identity. I'm going to be reading a prayer now known as El Malei Rachamim, God the Compassionate One. And embedded within the prayer will be his Hebrew name, David ben Meir. I always joked with him that Devere is an interesting name. It really means wasp in translation. And it's sort of an unusual word that was given to him. But Lisa sent me a copy of the Ketubah for Marge and Lou, and I confirmed that's exactly what that rabbi 50 plus years ago wrote in very neat handwriting. So I'm honored to continue that tradition. Same name I used when I'd call him up for an aliyah to the Torah. I ask everyone kindly to stand as I now recite this prayer. El malei rachamim, shochem b'ambaromim, hamtzei menucha nechona tachat kanfei hashchina. B'malot kadoshim toharim, k'hararkia mazirim. Et nishma dvir David ben Meir, shalach l'olamo. Began Eden tehei menuchato. Ana, ba'al harachamim, hasti rehu beseta knapecha la'olamim. Utror ritror chayim et nishmato. Adonai hu nachalato. V'yanuach b'shalom mishkavo v'nomar. Amen. O God, exalted and full of compassion, grant perfect peace in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure, to the soul of Lumam, Devir David, the son of Meir, who has gone to his eternal home. Master of mercy, we beseech you, remember all the worthy and righteous deeds that he performed in the land of the living. May his soul be bound up in the bond of life. The Lord is his portion. May he rest in the tranquility of shalom, of peace. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. The interment will take place at the Crescent Memorial Park in Pennsauken in the Congregation Beth Tikva section. There will be Shiva tonight, Monday night, and Tuesday night. Services will be at 7 p.m. Any potential donations in Lou's memory are welcomed at Congregation Beth Tikva and the Rotary Foundation. I also acknowledge the names of the pallbearers and the honorary pallbearers. So the pallbearers will be Howard Shank, Justin Shank, Kenny Mann, Ken Ruland, Dave Robinson, and Marty Camison. The honorary pallbearers will be Bill Friedman, Larry Moses, and Tom Shank. Molesta minder voor el tedek de ver en net dan go. Logragal alison, no? Voor als vader en hoe wij af. Dat er vader dan sa af de go. Die zerde een raad in acht. Et je reden naar je gaat deze. Die vader raad door je meer. Maar zullen we het aan de nesje.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll ask everyone to kindly please take seats for just a moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our services here today in the chapel. From here, we will be going to Crescent Memorial Park. If you are planning on going to the cemetery, please put on your headlights and your flashers, and there will be driving directions out on your car. Once again, the family also asked me to announce they will be receiving guests back at the home in Marlton on 31 Huxley Circle, so you're welcome to go back there after everything is completed at the cemetery. We're going to